Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTA Live Wire. 32 monster trucks are going to battle it out right here tonight to see who will come away as the Live Wire champion. We've got some new faces in the field and some old veterans ready to throw it down one more time. Who's going to come out on top and become Live Wire champion? Hold on to your seats because we kick off round number one right now. The Outlaw 4, driven by Andy Ullum, draws up against the Chillin' Villain, the Chevy Astro van. The classic matchup, Ford versus Chevrolet, as they wait for green to kick off round one. Outlaw with a lead up and over, and Outlaw will take the Ford to round number two. Coming up next, the son of a digger machine out of Poplar Branch, North Carolina. Joshua Stats pilots that ride. He takes on the big bad bull, Bulldozer, who's going on to round number two as we go green. Down the straight stretch, Bulldozer has the lead. They go up and over, and Bulldozer rides it across the finish line on two wheels. He moves on. Next up, the Avenger Chevrolet out of Columbus, Michigan. Hunter Padgett behind the wheel of that machine, but he draws up one of the baddest trucks on the Thunder Circuit, Chad Legit in the Hot Wheels Ford, who's moving on as we go green. Avenger with a lead, up and over the cars, and Hot Wheels steals the win away from the Avenger Chevrolet. Next up, the Samson Chevrolet out of Patrick Enterprise draws up against the Team Mints machine, who goes on to round number two. Both trucks are staged. Qualifying look good for both of them. There's the green light. They're dead even up and over the cars, and Team Mints will outdrive the Samson Chevrolet. Well, up next here in round one, Greg Durbin brings Backdraft back to the start line, but he draws up against Daniel Clark in that 1941 Willys and Blacksmith. Both trucks are staged now as we wait for green. There they go now down the straight. Blacksmith with a slight lead, and Blacksmith takes the 41 Willys to round number two. Next up, the Bounty Hunter Ford out of Toganazi, Kansas draws up against Jesse Garland in the brand new Ice Cream Man machine, looking to debut that truck with success. Staged now as we wait for green. There's the green light, third even. Ice Cream with a lead and a huge sky wheelie, but it cost him. Bounty Hunter comes back on him for the win. Next up here in round number one, Matt Cheever, the rookie, debuted that truck right here on Thunder this past February season. He's looking to take a win, but the return of Corey Marvin in the Sudden Impact Ford, who moves on to round two. There they go, Sudden Impact with a lead, up and over, and Sudden Impact loses a wheel as he crosses the finish line down there. Unbelievable run. No doubt about it, Corey Marvin and the Sudden Impact putting on a show. Next up here in round one, Keith Cromwell and the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, draws up against Brandon Jager and Zombie from Zombieland, South Dakota. As we go green, down the straight stretch now, they're even up and over the car, and Zombie by half a truck will put Carolina Crusher on the trailer. Next up, the truck that inspired the show, Mike Lanford brings the Live Wire Chevrolet to the starting line, but he draws up against the Wild Man, Ryan Johnson and Taz. Hold on to your hats when he's on the track. As we go green now, they're even down the straight, up and over, and a wild ride right there by Ryan Johnson, but Mike Lanford takes the win in Live Wire. Next up, the Outlaw Joshua Wells and El Toro Loco draws up the reigning and defending Thursday Night Thunder champion, James Valancourt in the UFO Ford. Staged now as we wait for green. There it is now, UFO pulls the lead on him, and Toro turns it over. James Valancourt and UFO will move on. The MTA officials are rushing down to the track now to make sure Joshua Wells is okay. All the safety equipment coming into play right here tonight. He was throwing it down. This was the last performance for that truck, and he definitely wanted to go out with a bang, just not that soon. Nonetheless, he is okay. El Toro Loco with some pretty heavy body damage, but that truck is going to be officially retired right here tonight. Well, next up here in round number one, Chantel Bailey, the Legends champion. She drove Monster Mutt Dalmatian to victory. She draws up in Madusa, but she takes on the five-time Thunder champion, Bradley Graham in the Maximum Destruction machine. Both trucks off to a great start, up and over the cars, and Maximum Destruction moves on to round number two. Next up here, Colt Cobra brings the Snakebite Ford to the starting line out of Pacific, Missouri in the Team Bigfoot camp, but he draws up the King Crunch Chevrolet out of Spring, Texas. Ford and Chevrolet here, folks, as we go green. Cobra has the lead, but King Crunch come back on him, and he steals the win away from Colt Cobra and Snakebite. And we're going to show you an MTA replay right here. Some sick air by both trucks, but check out the margin of victory for King Crunch. A tire length put Snakebite on the trailer. Well, next up here in round number one, Chris Baluk in the Stinger Unleashed machine draws up against John Guts in the Devastator Chevrolet. This ought to be a barn burner of a race. Stinger Devastator as we go green. There it is now down the straight stretch. They're even up and over the cars, and Stinger Unleashed turns it over on the big end. Such a close race, but Stinger will move on. Next up here in round number 1, the brand new Equalizer machine driven by Jerry Womack Jr., who took the Gas Monkey truck to victory lane at Halloween Madness. He draws up against the brand new Wildflower. As we go green, he has the lead on her up and over the cars, and Equalizer barely edged out the Wildflower machine. We're going back, as you see right here, the margin of victory, a tire length. Some close racing here tonight. Well, now Ryan Padgett brings the Mohawk Warrior to the start line, but he draws up a 4-time Thursday Night Thunder champion, Rich Wagner in the Wild Hair Chevrolet. As these trucks get ready to throw down, there's the green light. They're even down the straight, up and over the cars, and I don't know who's got the win. That was such a close race going across the finish line. We're going to an MTA replay, some sick air. You see it, now we go to the finish line, and Mohawk Warrior by a tire length takes the win. Well, now, a classic matchup right here tonight on Livewire. Bigfoot out of Pacific, Missouri, draws up against the Gravedigger from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Ford versus Chevrolet, a classic matchup as we go green. They're dead even down the straight, up and over the cars, and Gravedigger outruns the Bigfoot machine. What a race right there. Some close action. Hardware takes the Gravedigger to victory lane on to round 2. There you see an MTA replay. What an awesome race right there for Livewire. Well, now we get set to move on to round number 2, but first, we're heading down to the pits. We're going to show you Bigfoot's already on the trailer. They're going home tonight empty-handed. They have had a hard time out here with their trucks. They have yet to claim a victory out here on the MTA circuit. There you see Snakebite. They're getting ready to tire him down as well and pack it up and head back to Pacific, Missouri and hope for the best for next season. If not, come out with a brand new ride and hope for better luck. Also, we're catching up on the sudden impact story, who broke the left rear tire off in racing. He came over that last set of cars so hard it snapped the left rear tire off. Them guys are down there thrashing, hoping to get their mess nice and tight for round 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we kick off round number 2 here at Livewire. Chad Legit in the Hot Wheels Ford draws up against Gilbert Tabula and Team Mintz. Both trucks at the MTA starting line stage now. Hot Wheels, Team Mintz as we get set to go green at Livewire. Round number 2 kicks off now, down the straight, up and over the cars, and Hot Wheels will take the win over Team Mintz. All right, well now Bulldozer comes back to the start line. He crossed the finish line on 2 wheels in that last round matchup, but he draws up against Andy Ullum and the Outlaw. As we go green, dead even down the straight, up and over the cars, and Bulldozer looks like he just edged out the Outlaw. And here you see now, what a shot going across the finish line. Bulldozer moves on. Next up, Daniel Clark brings that 1941 Willys and Blacksmith to the starting line for round number 2. Draws up against the Ford out of Tonganoxie, Kansas, and Bounty Hunter. Both trucks look great in round number 1. As we go green now, they're dead even up and over the cars, and Blacksmith will take the win over Bounty Hunter. Next up here in round 2, Corey Marvin and the Sudden Impact team got their mess nice and tight and back together. Sudden Impact is back. They draw up against Brandon Jager and Zombie from Zombieland, South Dakota, who moves on to round 3 as we go green. Down the straight stretch now, Zombie pulls the lead on him up and over the cars, and Zombie moves on to round 3. Next up here in round 2, Mike Lanford brings the Livewire Chevrolet to the starting line, but he draws up against a seasoned veteran, James Valancourt in the UFO Ford, the current Thursday Night Thunder champion. Ford and Chevrolet now, ladies and gentlemen, as we go green. And Lanford's got his hands full, door handle to door handle, and the Chevrolet and Livewire will take the win. Next up here in round number 2, Bradley Graham and Maximum Destruction, the 5-time Thursday Night Thunder champion out of Paxton, Illinois. He hasn't gotten the big one victory yet, but he draws up against King Crunch out of Spring, Texas in the Chevrolet. As we go green, they're door handle to door handle, up and over the cars. Maxie loses it, and King Crunch will move on. Unbelievable race right there. Well, now Chris Paluk and Stinger Unleashed debuted that truck in the February season kickoff. Already a 2-time Thursday Night Thunder champion. He takes on a bad, fast Equalizer. That brand new ride out here, Jerry Womack Jr. behind the wheel. There's the green light. You hear the horsepower off the line, and Equalizer loses it right there in no man's land. Stinger Unleashed will walk away as the victor. Let's check out what happened in the MTA replay. Equalizer hits that jump, gets kicked off the one side, side slaps it on the right-hand side, almost gets into Stinger, but Stinger Unleashed will move on. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we closed out round 2. We're going back down to the pits of the Maximum Destruction team. They are wrapping it up right here tonight. They lost out to King Crunch in that second round matchup. They are still working out a few odds and ends in that brand new ride. He definitely wants to win the big one out here tonight, but still, nonetheless, a 5-time Thunder champion. Well, now we move on to round number 3 here at Livewire. Bulldozer set to take on the Hot Wheels machine. Both these trucks have been fast all night long, and both these men would love to get a victory out here tonight in the Livewire show. Hot Wheels and Bulldozer now staged as we go green. Down the straight stretch, we're looking even up and over the cars, and Hot Wheels just barely edges out the Bulldozer. Next up here in round number 3, Brandon Jager and Zombie draws up against Blacksmith Daniel Clark behind the wheel. These trucks have looked awesome all night long. Some of the most consistent passes I've seen out here on the MTA circuit. As we go green now, both trucks are throwing it down the straight, up and over the car. Zombie turns it over, but I think he got the win. We're going to go back to a photo finish right here and take a look and see. And yes, Zombie on 2 wheels will outrun the Blacksmith machine. Next up here in round number 3, the King Crunch Chevrolet out of Spring, Texas. He draws up against another Chevrolet, Mike Lanford, in the Livewire machine. These trucks have been bad fast all night long. Battle of the bow tie now down the straight stretch, up and over the cars, and King Crunch takes it down to the semifinals. What a ride right there for Livewire as well. But now we close out round number 3. Chris Paluk and Stinger Unleashed draws up against Stephen Hardware and the Gravedigger from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Both trucks have been fast all night. Who moves on to semis as we go green? Gravedigger now has the lead up and over the cars, and Gravedigger outruns Stinger. He moves on to the semifinals. Ladies and gentlemen, we started with 32. We are now down to 4 as we kick off semifinal action. Brandon Jager out of Zombieland, South Dakota, brings the Zombie machine to the starting line in the semis. He draws up against Chad Legit in the Hot Wheels Ford. Stage now as we go green. Zombie gets him off the line, and what a wheel stand by Hot Wheels, but Zombie will take the win, moving to the finals. Well, now we close out semifinal action. The King Crunch Chevrolet out of Spring, Texas, draws up against the Gravedigger machine, the 1950 Chevy panel wagon from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Another battle of the bow tie. Who meets Zombie in the finals as we go green? 2 Chevys throwing it down, up and over the cars, and Gravedigger just outruns the King Crunch machine. It's going to be a Gravedigger and Zombie final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to get into one of these races, be sure to check out our group on Facebook, Monster Truck Attitude. That is where we hold registration for Thursday Night Thunder and big events just like this one. You can sign up there, and we assign you a truck, and you can try your hat at drag racing on the MTA circuit. Be sure to crush that subscribe button if you support us, and maybe throw us a like. We appreciate it very much for all you fans that come out and support Monster Truck Attitude. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally final time here at the Livewire event. Brandon Jager and Zombie from Zombieland, South Dakota. He draws up against Stephen Hardware and the Gravedigger out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Both of these trucks have ran strong all night, but there can only be one champion. Gravedigger, Zombie, it's showtime at Livewire. Down the straight, they're even up and over the cars, and Gravedigger turns it over, going across the finish line. He put it all on the line, trying to chase down the Zombie machine. They were fairly even throughout the whole race, but as you saw, Zombie edges out the Gravedigger. Going back to an MTA replay, some sick air. Gravedigger fumbled up right there in no man's land, trying to get it together. Zombie put the horsepower down where it counted. Gravedigger on 2 wheels and turns it over. What a great race for the finals here tonight. But congratulations to Brandon Jager and Zombie. You are the Livewire champion.
Standing tall up in victory lane, I done brought the pain and now they screaming my name. Yeah, everybody saw me rock the place. Now there's flashbulbs are popping and mics in my face. Always giving the crowd what they need. Now they're wearing my shirts front row to nosebleed. Now the crowd forms is what it's all about. Signing autographs until the lights out. Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming out and being a part of Livewire with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out our other videos linked right here on our channel. As always, make sure you crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you down the road. See you next time.